يا وجيه الدين والكرم وحليف العلم والحكم نبي 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 نبي.
Assalamu alaikum. You're watching Merciful Mankind. Tonight we're talking about something so special about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings be upon him. Dear viewers, we're talking about the youth. How many times have you been left behind as a youth? How many times have you not been heard? How many times in this world have you got an idea and no one's listened? It's about time we went back to basics and found out how the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings be upon him, treated the youth. We want to discover all the things about what the Prophet used to do regarding the youth. How many times in this busy life are we distracted with things and we put aside the children, we put aside the youth and their ambitions. Remember, the youth are the next generation. They are going to be us in a few years' time. So why do we don't give them any chance whatsoever? Dear viewers, we're going to open the phone lines in the second part of the show. So please give us a call. I'm going to ask you a question. And the question is, what do you think the youth are? What do you think they are capable of? Now remember, the telephone numbers are 0020 238 555 248 or 249. And you can certainly Skype us at Huda_TV. So that again, that's Huda_TV. Now we're joined by two special guests. We have Brother Mustafa Moore from all the way from the USA. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum, Mustafa.
Wa alaikum assalam wa barakatuh.
And we have Mustafa Yusuf. We have from Egypt. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
And we also have joining us Rafat Mohammed from Canada on Skype, I believe, inshallah. So, brothers, I want to ask you, first of all, Mustafa, I want to ask you, Brother Mustafa, about growing up in the USA. Was it difficult? Did you find your emotions? We're talking first of all about emotions.
Well, yes, growing up in America was pretty difficult. Well, first of all, of course, when I grew up, I wasn't Muslim.
Okay.
So I didn't have the direction that a Muslim has. You know, I kind of just had to fumble around and, you know, find my way. And, you know, more times than not, my way wasn't the correct way. It was, but I mean, you know, very few people in America, like, really have, like, stern guidance, you know.
It's stability. We're talking about stability, what I hear. Now, we all know about political correctness. We cannot say half the things that we used to say. And I'm sure the US is just like the UK, or the UK is like America,
yes,
where growing up is very... You are misguided. You are not guided to anything. You are not motivated in your life. So how do you think the emotions, we hear we're depressed, we can't do this because I'm depressed. There's no motivation in anything that we do in our youth. So, Brother Mustafa, I want to ask, you know, how was it for you being brought up in Egypt? I know you've been brought up in Egypt. How was your emotions dealt with?
Alhamdulillah, I was brought up in a kind of Islamic atmosphere. Alhamdulillah, Egypt is a kind of, it's a Muslim country, so the atmosphere and the environment really encourages the youth to be good Muslims. But on the other hand, you have like the people do not understand that the youth, they have emotions and they have different ideas, and they can be leaders. They have brilliant ideas that they can use. They have potential power. They have the capability of thinking and doing and imagining and being creative and leading like the whole country. So when I was young, I because I studied at Al-Azhar, so sometimes I knew things that other people, even who were much older than me, didn't know. But I couldn't even like say that this is right or this is wrong, because the reaction would be just, you are such a young boy, and you cannot talk about like such things. We know more than you know.
You're just a kid.
Yeah, you're just a kid, and you don't know much about the life and so on.
Exactly.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be true that, you know, I have a nephew who is 11. He knows more how to do like Skype, how to do things on the PC that I'm thinking I don't even know how to do. Their knowledge is greater than ours. Their knowledge is totally different. So when we're hearing about things about emotions, how do you think the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings be upon him, dealt with that, Muhammad, back in the day?
I remember when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Anas ibn Malik served Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for 10 years. 10 years serving Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't tell him why you didn't do that thing or why you did that thing. So he didn't even ask him. He didn't blame him for anything that he's done, and he didn't blame him for anything that he hasn't done. So he served him for 10 years, and he knew like that this boy has emotions, and he has he has needs, and he has yes.
Do you not think, Mustafa, let me ask you this question, do you not think that your feelings growing up as a non-Muslim were different than a Muslim?
Yes. Like these days it's kind of unclear, you know, because the Muslims are almost as confused as we were, you know. I mean, like when I see the children these days in school, I mean, of course they don't have the level of fitna that we had, because you know, like, you know, in the West, you know, there's
too much.
Yes, there's less limits. Yes, less limits. But here, you know, outside of the fitna, you know, just the general playing around and stuff like that, and even, you know, not really adhering to al-Islam, you know, that, you know, it's.
Of course.
Yeah, it's.
Isn't there something that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that treat the elders, treat the older people with respect, because when you get old, you will be treated the same way you treated the old. You know, it's fascinating because every day we're learning in Islam. We never ever stop learning. Every day is a new path.
That's our that's a part of the deen. You know,
exactly.
to learn something. You know, every day.
But isn't it fascinating as a revert to Islam that we're finding all these things that they're defining in the West, such as political correctness, such as emotions, that they were done way back in the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So why do you think that the West have taken a look at us in the Islamic world? Do you think they've gone and said, hang on a minute, the Islamic world are teaching everything 1, 2, 3 and 4, so let's catch up in the modern world?
Yes, but I mean the way that they do it the same way that they've always done it, which is they steal it and they redress it, and then they say, here it is, like as if it were theirs. You know,
of course.
So the people, when they see it, they think it's, you know, it's completely American, but they don't realize it's something that we've had, you know, since the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam.
Exactly. Well, let's go to Skype right now. I believe we have Sheikh Rafat Mohammed from Canada. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers. How are you, my dear brother? Inshallah, everybody is doing good.
Yes, we're all doing fine. Thank you so much, Sheikh. So we're talking tonight about the youth. We're talking about emotions. Sheikh Rafat, could you give us some insight about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings be upon him, how he used to deal with the youth?
Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad. I'm glad to talk to you again with Al-Huda, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us in the hereafter around the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Bi'idhnillah, ameen. There is no doubt that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given a good attention to the youth. If you look in the beginning of da'wah, in the beginning of the days of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Mecca, most of those who accepted Islam with him sallallahu alaihi wasallam were youth. So if you look at Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Sayyidina Mus'ab ibn Umayr radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Ammar ibn Yasir, and many other Sahaba who were around the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For example, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given a good attention to the youth, and he sent Sayyidina Mus'ab ibn Umayr radiallahu anhu to Al-Madinah to be the first ambassador of Islam. And look at Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib as a young man who has taken the place of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ when the mushrikeen wanted to attack the house of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, aiming to kill him, alayhi salatu wasalam. So the youth playing a good role in the time of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in the beginning of da'wah. When he ﷺ planned for his migration, you will find that those who helped the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, they were actually all youth. Plus Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. So you will find Sittina Asma bint Abi Bakr, the young lady, who were helping the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and her father, taking the food to them in the cave. And you find Sayyidina Abu Bakr, Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abi Bakr, he used to help taking the news to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. You will find the servant of Sayyidina Abu Bakr, Amr ibn Fuhayra, he used to take the goats and the sheep to wipe the of the walking to the cave to the Prophet ﷺ. And you will find that the Rasulullah he has given a good attention to those youth. You will find actually that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ called in many incidents they used to do different jobs. And I will give you just some instance to prove what we say. How the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ paid a good attention and used to take good use of those youth. As the brother said about Sayyidina Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu, when he came to serve the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he was just 10 years. And the Rasul never told him, why did you say you do that and why you didn't do that. He used to be, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, giving
I'm sorry, the call may have dropped. I do hope we get you right back, Sheikh Arafat. You know, brothers, the Sheikh was talking about something so specific here, what we're talking about tonight, about how the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ treated the youth. Because we've seen the vileness, and there's no word in any language to describe what we've seen, the monstrosity of what's happened in the media against the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And we need guys like you to tell us how your life is. If it wasn't for the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, we would not be guided.
Yes, far from guidance. I'm thankful every day for Al-Islam. Because one thing, like here in Masr, they don't really realize how well Islam has made them as people.
Exactly.
Even the ones who may not be so religious, they may be some of the nicest people in the world, just from the adab that they've grown up with.
Exactly.
Because of Al-Islam.
This is so true, Mustafa. I want to share a quick story with you. Basically, when we're on a struggle, because it's not easy living in Egypt. It's very, very difficult, especially coming from a Western country. And I know, Mustafa, this is your home country, and we love Egypt, and we love all Egyptians. They have helped me. Again, I've been to some remote villages in Egypt, and every single person has come out of their home. You know, Mustafa, what the remote places are like in Egypt. They're very remote, brother. And they come out giving you what they can. Chicken, drink, anything that they have, they come to my home. This is how humble, and the people, they want you and to invite you to your home. And I'm very happy here because I feel a sense of security. I feel that there's something I'm learning each day. This lesson in life is easier for me in this country than my own. Why? Because the people don't know about the true Islam. They don't know about these things. Now, Mustafa, we talked earlier about growing up in Egypt and the difficulties that we may find. Let's talk now a little bit about how we can promote this, how we can promote the youth, because we should listen to the youth. There's many bright youth in society right now, and we don't listen to them. They don't get the chance. So how do you think, Mustafa, we can promote them? How do you think we can promote the youth?
I believe that the perfect example, the one that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ has given us. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ appointed Usama ibn Zayd as the leader of the army and he wasn't even 20 years old.
Was he 17? I believe he may have been 17.
I think yes, he was. He was less than 20, and
Yes.
at that time there were some of the companions were much older than him.
Of
But
course.
he appointed him, and he was less than 20 years old as the leader of the whole army, and there were many soldiers under him who were much older than him. The companions at that time didn't agree, or they had some concerns. Of course, they didn't refuse, but they had some concerns about this. But Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that this is the best thing. So it was Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that this should be done. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ passed away, and he wasn't sent yet. When Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, came, he sent him, and he said this is what the choice of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and he wanted to carry out what Prophet Muhammad ﷺ chose.
Of course, subhanAllah.
He went and he won the battle, and he came back, and the Muslims said, we have never seen such a victorious, untouched army in our life.
Subhanallah.
Yes. So
This is magnificent.
this is the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ knew the potential power that Usama ibn Zayd had at that time,
Of course.
and he used it. This is exactly what we need now. This is what we need. The youth. Actually, they have two things. The children, they have the physical power, they have the physical capability.
So they have physical power.
Yes, but
Subhanallah.
they do not have that in the capability of thinking and so on. And the elderly, they have the capability of thinking and the wisdom, but
that's
they
great,
do
that's
not
great,
have the
Mustafa.
physical capability.
Of
But the
course.
youth have both. So therefore, I think we should use
A balance, you try and say
yes.
it like a balance there. You know, that's excellent, Mustafa. Let's go to the telephone lines and take a telephone call from Akeem from Ghana. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you, no much, sir. May Almighty Allah bless each and every one of you. And we pray to Allah to bestow His mercy and praise to our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And may Allah bless the management and the leadership of Huda. But I think with youth in Islam is the key thing to be mentioned today. Wallah, I'm very great. And I thank God because looking at all the issues in terms of progress, in terms of negativity, they will mention the youth. That the young guys have done this, the young guys have done the other. Why? Because the youth of today, so far as Islam is concerned, we don't learn. Because we are born in the religion, we just take it for granted. I'm a Muslim, that is all. But knowing who the person who got the religion, how to behave about the religion, how should you follow his footsteps? It's not our problem at all. The youth just embrace, pray, and say, that is all. Even our way of talking is a problem. Forgetting that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, "Man yu'minu billah wal yawmil akhir, fa kullu khayr aw yasmut." You'll be surprised a Muslim will be sitting at a place speaking, shouting, forgetting that there is even an adab for him. So we thank Huda very well for bringing this program to life, and we are praying that we should adapt the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inshallah, we will all be blessed, and the hereafter we will be happy to meet the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you so much for your telephone call. Let's take another telephone call from Brother Abdulaziz from Algeria. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Abdulaziz.
Wa alaikum salam.
Thank you for joining us. Now, I believe you're 19 years old, brother.
Sorry, I can't hear you well.
You can hear me now, brother? Abdulaziz? Well, I believe we've got troubles with the telephone line there. I do hope you give it a quick call back there, brother. Brothers, we just heard the telephone call from Nigeria, and the brother was saying, you know, progression. This is the main word we heard, progression. All this progress the West is making is due to the foundations of Islam. Correct me if I'm right or wrong here, because, wallahi, I can say this word, wallahi, the things I have been taught since being a Muslim weren't in my life previously. This is all down to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. You know, brother, you can share with me the same thoughts.
Oh,
here.
yes.
Coming from America, how difficult was it? Because you, and I will share a true story here, because you have only let's say you have 3 fingers, or you have 1 ear, or your skin's black, or your skin's white. They mock you, they treat you vile.
Oh,
However, in Egypt, you can have 3 fingers, and it's okay, they treat you normal.
yes,
You can have black skin, they treat you normal. You can have white skin, and they treat you normal.
yes, yes. Oh, it's a very, very different place in America. You know, if like you said, you know, if you have anything that's below the blonde hair, blue-eyed standard,
Exactly, the stereotype.
Yes, yes, you're you know, something discarded. You know.
Exactly. And where does it get you? Now, Mustafa, I want you to share your opinions. Do you think growing up in Egypt should be any different from growing up in, you know, the America? But before you answer that, let's take a telephone call from a sister. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Thank you for calling us, Amira. Go ahead, sister. Sister
I just want
Amira.
to thank you for your program. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless and guide you.
Inshallah, you too. What would you like to say, Amira?
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your
I
telephone
just
call.
want to thank you for your program. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your telephone call, sister. Let's take another telephone call from Ali from the USA. Assalamu alaikum, Ali. Assalamu alaikum, Ali. Well, I believe the telephone call may get back through. I do hope, Brother Ali, gives another call very shortly. Brother Mustafa, I was just saying to you before the telephone calls that do you think that growing up in Egypt or any Eastern country is different than the West?
Yes, I believe so. Alhamdulillah, and I'm very happy that I was brought up in an Islamic country, because alhamdulillah, I was taught the manners of Islam, and I was taught how Prophet Muhammad used to behave, and how the good manners that he taught us. One of them actually is Prophet Muhammad was against discrimination, and Islam is against discrimination. There is no difference between anyone except by the taqwa. Piety is the only difference between people. There is no difference based on the color of the skin, on the sex, or anything.
There's no difference. Mustafa, you mentioned a word, taqwa. Now, very quickly, just tell us what taqwa is. Is there something, you know, we all should be aware of?
I believe so. Piety is one more time, is the measure. The difference, it's the only measure that is the only difference between the people. This is the measures that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows and uses it. You are only different if you are more pious than someone else. You are more rewarded. So if you fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you do what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders you to do, you have this piety. You are better than others, but there is no difference based on the color of the skin or the gender or anything. It's just piety. This is the measure that Islam, yes.
It's quality, subhanAllah. I believe we have Sheikh Rafat back on the line. Telephone. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Rafat. Well, again, I do believe he may try to call. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Thanks for joining us back in the studio, brother.
Oh, thank you, brother. I'm online now?
Yes, go ahead, brother.
Oh, yes. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah for coming back again. I'm just sorry for the connection problem that happens in the first call.
No
I just
worries.
want to continue what I was trying to say is how was a great relationship with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu and the youth, and how he sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to treat the youth in a very, very great manner and a good way to encourage them to be part of the Muslim nation and the Muslim ummah. I will just give you some examples. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ has sent, for example, Sayyidina Mu'az ibn Jabal, the young man, he sent him to be an ambassador, to be a da'iyah, to call the people to Islam in Yemen. He ﷺ used to send most of the messages that he wanted to deliver to those other empires like Rome and Persia. He used to send the young people. As he ﷺ selected Sayyidina Osama ibn Zayd, as he ﷺ also as he ﷺ used to give a good attention. In some of the hadiths, Rasulullah ﷺ said, for example, يا معشر الشباب من استطاع منكم الباءة فليتزوج. All youth, whomsoever is able to get married, please let him do so, as he ﷺ wanted to confirm that he's taking care of the youth, and he's always paying attention to their problems and their what they should do in their life. Rasulullah ﷺ did not leave anything except he has explained, alayhi salatu wasalam. He ﷺ encouraged the youth to be obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be always close to Allah azza wa jal. As he ﷺ said in another hadith, from among those who will be under the shade of Allah's throne in the day of judgment, a young man who grew up in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A young man who grew up in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to encourage us, to encourage the youth, to encourage the teenagers to grow up as a good worshippers to Allah, as a good Muslims, to be always an active Muslim who can help his nation, who can do work in da'wah, who can spread the message of Islam, who can always react when something happens to the Muslims or the Muslim nation. He ﷺ encouraged us to learn and to go and to seek knowledge and to be among those who are the people of the Quran. As he ﷺ said, encouraging the youth, خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ وَعَلَّمَ, the best among you, those who learn and teach Quran. He ﷺ, as we know, when he was in Mecca, he was insulted by the chiefs of Mecca. And one of the incident that happens in the battlefield of Badr, two young youths, Mu'az wa Mu'awaz, they are very young, and they participated in the war against the mushrikeen of Mecca in the first battlefield of Badr, and they wanted to take revenge to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ from Abu Jahl, who used to insult and say bad words to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and they really did their job in this manner. So all of us, we need to always think of this good situation and a great etiquette of our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ dealt with the youth, and to always think that we are his followers and we are the ones who will spread the religion of Allah, the ones who will take care of da'wah in the future, and the ones who will be always on the steps of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gather us with him in Jannah, Ameen. And thank you so much. May Allah bless you all, and have a good night.
Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam, Sheikh. Thank you so much for joining us on Skype tonight.
You know, subhanAllah, growing up in America, it was difficult for us. But after I became Muslim, and I saw the Muslim youth, subhanAllah, they were nothing like us. They were nothing like anyone that I had known in my life.
Of course.
You know, they were like, you know, they born and raised in America, but they had etiquette. You know, and they were very zealous for Islam. They loved Islam.
Of course, you know, it's a great point there, brother. You know, after the break, we're going to talk about embarrassment, how the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to save people from embarrassment, especially the youth. Don't go anywhere, dear viewers. We're going to take a quick break. Join us very shortly. Assalamu alaikum.
رسول 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 رسول.
Why righteous companions? It is Islam that given us the sense of dignity. I love all of them in a way that you cannot imagine. That Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anh would say something and the Quran would come down matching what he said. والسابقون الأولون من المهاجرين والأنصار والذين اتبعوهم بإحسان رضي الله عنهم ورضوا عنه. Just compare what you did for Islam with just one of them.
Three, two, one. What will I be when I grow up? What will I be when I grow up? What will I be when I grow up?
The firefighter uses what to control fire? Water or rocks?
Now these two teams go head to head on pulling the blue rope. Now, if one person goes over this line right here, the other team loses. Very simple rules. This challenge is worth 5 points.
What will I be when I grow up? What will I be when I grow up? What will I be when I grow up as a Muslim man?
Fun is for everyone, so get ready to have some fun. Check out these cool competitions between kids. It's important to have fun, and it's also important to be a good sport. So tune in to Fun for Everyone. You don't want to miss it.
What will I be when I grow up as a Muslimah? What will I be when I grow up? What will I be when I grow up? What will I be when I grow up as a Muslimah?
رسول رسول رسول.
Assalamu alaikum. You're watching Mercy for Mankind. Dear viewers, I'm asking you your thoughts. Give me a telephone call. I'm asking you, what does youth mean to you? How do you value their youth? Are the youth value to you? The telephone number is 0020 238 555 248 or 249. Again, that's 0020 238 555 248 or 249. And you can certainly give us a Skype call at Huda_TV. Now let's take a look at some Facebook comments regarding the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, peace and blessings be upon him. We have one from Amy, which says, I remember hearing the story of the tree that Rasulullah saw leaned on when he would say his khutbah, and he heard he built for high so low, no longer learned against the tree. You know, we have Alihu, may peace and blessings be upon the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. We have a comment from Aliyah, who says that Islam is a religion that will stop for the world. We have another one from Wasim, what says the fact that the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, lived and loved the people of Medina all his life because of their sincere support to him. Again, we have another one from Urena, who says, he is the leader of all human beings and the only prophet that's sent to the whole world, even the Holy Quran says. We have one from Salihul Mustafa, Alhamdulillah, says, the greatest man of civilization on earth. We have one from Daru, who says, Assalamu alaikum. Michael H. Hart, in his book, said, he was the only man, Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, in history, who was supremely successful on both the religions. SubhanAllah, you know, this is very interesting to hear that the brother is commenting on a book by a non-Muslim, which has said that basically the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was the best man to walk the earth. SubhanAllah. Well, let's take a quick telephone call from Brother Ali from the USA. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Ali.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thanks for joining us tonight. So, brother, we're talking obviously tonight about the youth, and you're actually living in the USA right now. What is it like for you? What does it mean for you, your concerns for the youth of today?
Alhamdulillah, it's good here in the U.S. There are a lot of temptations to do wrong, but that allows us to have more time to stay away from what's bad and focus on helping the community. You know, as youth, we have a lot of time on our hands, and the average person, average teenager in America, they spend so much time going out, you know, going to parties and going clubbing. And alhamdulillah, you know, as Muslims, we have such a force in the youth because, you know, we're saving that time that's going out, spending doing what's haram, and spending that into our community, you know, helping our masjids and helping everything out there in the world.
Definitely.
And yeah.
Ali, let me ask you a question. Do you think you're missing out by not going to these parties? Do you think you're missing out on anything that the people do in America?
Oh, I'm not missing out. They're the ones who are missing out. I'm actually gaining the rewards, inshallah, from Allah, if I renew my intentions daily.
Exactly. You know, it's very encouraging for myself to hear, you know, that you're empowered, because I know how difficult it may be in the West to be up on the path of religion. You know, I do thank you very much for your call, Ali. You know, brothers, it was a great point that Ali mentioned there. He's not missing out.
Exactly.
They are the ones missing out.
See, this is the way that the youth are in America. You know, mashallah, it's something brand. It was something brand new to me. You know, to see these young boys in the masjid, to see these young boys at Tarawih.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, to ask these young boys a question, because when I had moved to the community that I was living in North Carolina, I had only been Muslim for like 3 months, so I didn't know anything. You know, I was very new, so I would ask questions, and I mean, you know, the young boys, you know, they'd race to tell me. I mean, you know, I mean, so they were really serious about the Deen. They really loved Islam, and you could see it in their faces, Aki, subhanAllah.
You know, it's very true, because they have it in their hearts. They've got it, you know. I am always eager to learn knowledge. I'm always, you know, subhanAllah, I'm very privileged to work behind the scenes sometimes with Dr. Muhammad Salah. And when he's actually doing Ask Huda, I'm just sit there and I feel so, you know, privileged, because I'm allowed to actually listen and be part of his team. You know, these kind of things we always must learn. And we don't get that in the West. We don't get these kind of things. So it's very encouraging to hear that the youth of today are, you know, so empowered on this path. So let's, brothers, now talk about the emotions. And we've talked about this. Let's talk about the embarrassment situations. Because we all know when we're in embarrassing situations, who is the quickest person to laugh at us? It's your peers.
Yes,
They want to laugh at you. So, you know, before we take any thoughts on that, let's take a telephone call from Brother Noor from Yemen. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Noor. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Noor. Well, I believe we may have a telephone difficulty there. I do hope, Brother Noor, you give us a quick call back. Do try again. Again, let me just remind you quickly with the telephone numbers, which are 0020 238 555 248 or 249. And you can certainly Skype us at Huda_TV. So I believe we may have Brother Noor back on the line. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Noor.
The last day, yesterday, you didn't give me the time, yeah?
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Noor. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I don't like to speak a lot about this one, because actually you did many things towards the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. But I want to speak about the reason why they did this movie towards the Prophet, and the second thing, why they draw the picture about the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Actually, because we have two reasons. The first is we are not strong. We are so weak. So we must make an Islamic union that help us to be strong. This is the first reason.
So okay? Brother Noor, let me ask you, you think we're not strong?
What?
You think the Muslim are not strong enough?
I know, but we want to make a real Islamic union. Because we are not strong these days. You know that.
Okay. We hear you. Thank you very much for your call there, Brother Noor. Thank you very much. So,
if I could comment.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
I mean, I agree to a certain extent with my friend Brother Noor that we are not that strong now. But the reason is that we are not as strong as we used to be, because now we have drifted somehow from the right path that Prophet Muhammad drew to us. So this was the right path. When we started drifting far from Islam, and we started like being like not like united as Prophet Muhammad ﷺ asked us to do, that's why we're not that strong. They just... Yes.
So you think, basically, I think as a whole generation of Muslims, I personally believe that, we must have a goal in life as Muslims. And I believe we are getting there because, you guys would be able to tell me more, that we know we're going to be oppressed because we are right. You always find people who are correct. They don't want the truth to come out. Yes. This is why we are here. This is why we must tell the world, listen, this is the correct path.
Well, we're oppressed, and we'll continue to be oppressed until we're empowered. At the time of the Prophet, before the Prophet got to his peak, of course he was oppressed. When he was trying to pray, they put the camel guts on his back. At the time where he rose to the top, they couldn't touch the Prophet ﷺ. Okay, so it would take for the Muslims to regain that power. If the Muslims regain the power, then everyone would have to recognize them as a force. But until that happens, they'll pick on us, make movies about us, and it's basically our fault. I don't think that there's any nation or any world power as vast as the Islamic power, but we're not united until we decide to put our differences
to be
aside,
united and to bring ourselves up.
Yes, we'll continue to be at the back of the bus.
It's a very interesting point. I'm very happy to be joined by you both tonight because it's very good to hear youth explanation, because I do believe basically as you get older, you believe you are right. The youth, what do they know? But believe me, the youth have such enthusiasm,
vigor,
and they are so empowered with enthusiasm and knowledge. If I asked you, Brother Mustafa, okay, what's the latest knowledge about technology? You'd have to research.
Probably the Android Bionic.
Exactly. The only reason I know about such things is because, I used to work in that field, and so I had to learn all these kind of things. But if you ask me, if you ask the youth, I have actually seen this. I have actually seen this with my own eyes. I have seen a Muslim youth in this country take apart a telephone, a mobile phone, to see how it works. And he's put it back together, and he's solved the issue with the mobile phone. Subhanallah, wow. That's a youth. I used to work in a mobile telephone communications company, and the phone had a problem. He took it apart to see how it was working. In the finest details, he put it back together.
Wow!
Could you imagine this happening in the US or the UK? They'd break it. It would be like in pieces.
Some people would. If they had a background on it, but not like for the first time they've ever.
Exactly, just the general youth. So let's get back to the topic about embarrassment, because how many times have you been embarrassed?
I heard a very special story about the Prophet. There's a lot of differences about this. It's about the camel meat. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Yes, I've heard something about the camel meat. Yes, there's an embarrassment.
Yes, they said that after they ate the camel meat, they said that someone passed gas. And then, instead of calling everyone out, who passed gas? The Prophet alayhi salam, he made everyone go and make wudu again.
Yes.
To save someone the embarrassment.
Exactly. Brother Mustafa, I want to ask you, have you ever been put in an embarrassing situation in Egypt growing up, or even now? Do people want to embarrass you, or do your friends keep you away from embarrassment?
I just remember, the thing that I shared at the beginning of the show. When I was young, I just had some knowledge about things that older people didn't know. But at that time, I couldn't say it, and then sometimes it was very embarrassing for me because they just wanted to shut me up. That's it. It's just to stop me talking. That's it. It was in different situations that, you know, like I was really embarrassed, but the elderly didn't help me out with this. I remember a situation when Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and the companions, Mu'adh ibn Jabal was one of the companions, and he was young at that time. He was getting something from a tree, and he had like such small legs. So the companions just wondered at his legs. But Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, to help him and to get him out of this situation, he said that those legs are more precious for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than the mountains of Uhud, mountains in Mecca. So those legs, those small legs that you might be wondering at, they are more precious than the mountains. This is how Prophet Muhammad ﷺ dealt with the situation. In such a situation, he didn't want Mu'adh ibn Jabal to be embarrassed. So he, in a very clever way, he got him out of this situation.
So. It's fascinating to hear, brothers, because on this journey in Islam, it's not easy. Really, it's not easy. However, we have the best of teachers, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, to give. We go back to the basics and the root. Again, without the foundation, there's nothing on top. You know that the pyramid scenario, basically, where the manager is at the top, and then it goes down and down and down until
the
worker. That's been reversed now. The pyramid has been reversed because the workers, without the workers, there would be no CEO. Subhanallah. And I believe the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ knew this already, revealed to him. And we're just catching up in this modern,
I believe
world.
that now the companies are taking the example of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used the youth.
Yes.
In most of the situations, and you know how powerful they were, and the potential power that they had. Now, if you see most of the companies, the famous companies, Microsoft, the most famous companies, they use the youth. You find like the chairman is just like 40 years old or less, and so they know this. They know that the youth, they have that potential power. They try to use it.
Of course.
Taking that example from Prophet Muhammad ﷺ from Islam originally.
Definitely. We're always progressing. We're always, every day it's a change. Every day, and the youth, they know, because they are the men of tomorrow. Because I remember as a child, I was very adventurous. I was always asking questions. And I was always put in an embarrassing situation. I was always, no, please don't ask this. No, don't ask this. I wanted to know. And I had very good ideas. However, I was never allowed to, deal with any situation. But first, let's take another telephone call from Sister Amina from Egypt. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Amina.
Assalamu alaikum.
Go ahead, Sister.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Sister Amina.
Okay, I'm a new Muslima. I'm originally from the U.S., but I live here in Cairo, and I'm currently trying to learn more about the Sunnah. And I'm just hoping or curious to learn how can I possibly obtain more knowledge.
SubhanAllah. That's fascinating. I'm so happy, Sister Amina, you've given us a telephone call. I think the sister's just trying to say, she's wanting to gain knowledge. She's originally from the US, and she's living in Cairo. Sister, when I first came to Egypt, I was learning foci Arabic. I was learning such things like kayfa haluka, and now I'm used to the local Arabic. There are many good centres, and I do believe after the telephone call, if you stop on the line, the brother in the control room will give you some more information. You can actually visit our website at Huda Academy, www.Huda Academy, and you can find out how to study. We have an academy run by some of the scholars, like Dr. Muhammad Salah. We have an Arabic teacher. It's very encouraging, sister, and there is people out there to help you in Cairo. There's many good people to help you. So stay on the line, and the brother in the control room will give you more information, inshallah. Thank you so much, Amina, and inshallah, God bless you, inshallah. this is encouraging, to hear somebody's travelled again. Because it's not easy to travel. Yes. I was only young when I came to Egypt. Alhamdulillah, I've been here for 4 years. And it was not easy to get on that plane. And to just on my own with a suitcase. And people said to me, Rafi, are you not lonely? And I said the best thing I could reply. I said no, because I have Allah.
I hear that.
I don't need. I was so overwhelmed with the things that I'm learning in Islam, because I believe personally, without the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, I would not be the person I am today. I would not have the things I have today.
MashaAllah. That's great.
It's fascinating. Yes. Let's take another telephone call from Brother Hamza. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum salam, brother.
Brother, if I can just ask you very kindly to mute the TV.
Okay.
No worries. Go ahead, brother. What would you like to say?
I just wanted to say that I feel very bad, and I don't like the movie they made about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yes. We all do not like the movie, brother. We totally agree with you. Thank you so much for your telephone call there, brother. Again, we're having many telephone calls saying this video was wrong. We all know this video was wrong. We all know it's horrendous.
The video may have been wrong, but in all honesty, we're wronger by watching it. Why give this person extra clicks on his on the thing? We're making the video astronomically famous just by watching it. I've never seen it, and I will never see it.
I'll never see it. I've never seen it, and I'll never see it.
Yes.
I mean, if you just click, this makes the video more popular.
Yes.
And the video, I think it was made in January. It was made like months before.
I believe it was made in August 2011.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. I heard it was on the internet like for 3 months before they publicized, on 9/11 we're going to have this special movie.
It was basically made in 2011, and they dubbed it in 2012. But
I believe that the best thing to do to defend is just to say who is Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and what Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, the teachings of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Because I'm sure that those people who made that video, they do not know Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. If they know who Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is, they would apologize for this. They would. Yes.
It's our job to guide them, and inshallah, we've run out of time, guys. I'm so sad that we've run out of time. I'd like to thank Brother Mustafa for coming to join us in the studio, and I'd also like to thank Brother Mustafa as well, joining us in the studio, and the Skype call from Sheikh Rafat Muhammad. Dear viewers, we've run out of time. I do hope, we're giving you knowledge. Next time, be patient with the youth. Give them more power, because remember, they are the men of tomorrow. We need the youth. We need their ideas. We need their generosity. Without them, we wouldn't have no tomorrow. We are going to be older, yet we should be wiser. However, do you think we're going to get wise? And on that note, that's all we have time for right now. And until next time, I'll leave you on the safe care of Allah. Assalamu alaikum.
يا رسول الله سلام عليك يا رفيع الشان والدرج رسول 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 يا وفي العهد ودمامي وحمد